Happy Friday.
We're back.
Happy Mental Health Talk Day, guys. Hope you had
Yes.
an amazing week.
Yes, feels good to be back. I love doing these shows. It's like therapy.
Yes.
Yes, guys, welcome back. Hope you guys have had an amazing week full of positivity.
Good vibes, good energy,
Yes.
lots of love, getting
Yes.
prepared for the holiday, getting y'all an extra day off from work.
Yes. Happy Labor Day weekend.
Period.
I was off today and on Monday. God, it's good.
Won't he do it?
Yes. Today's episode is going to be called The Dating Game.
Mm.
Dun dun dun.
Drum roll.
A nightmare.
Not a nightmare.
It's been a nightmare for me personally. I don't know about y'all, but it's not been fun. I've been personally trying to like date and like do the whole dating app thing, and I'm 21 now. I'm not trying to be married or anything, but me a little boo.
She said, I want a little boo.
You know what Lotto say in my man? Thank you to my man. I want to be like, oh, I got a little man. But
not a little man.
I want a little man.
I can't do
I
you.
want a man. But no, just not even just that though. It's just like wanting a good partner, or even I'm not even so
Companion.
focused. Yes, like focusing on building like strong like foundations with people, strong friendships, and then like growing to more than that, because this society and Gen Z is so full of like wanting things right now instead of like going through a process. Like there is no like courting and like getting to know people anymore. It's just like, oh, you fine, let's link tonight. And it's like, I want to be fine and you get to know me.
Right.
I don't want you to like look at me as this piece of meat because you're attracted to my body and, or the idea of me and the fantasy of me. I want to, build something with someone. And if you can't be a good friend to me, how can you be a good partner? But people don't even care about being friends or getting to know you. They don't even want to know your favorite color. They just want to get in your pants, from what I've experienced so far
Right.
on this whole dating app. And I'm disgusted.
Maybe you should reintroduce your song Chivalry.
Yeah, I think I do, because chivalry, I used to say it's not dead. It's given it's dead, right? It's not dead, but from my experience so far, it's not alive.
Yeah. What has been your
Experience?
yeah, like top 5.
You mean like
Top 5 issues that you've encountered.
so yeah, number one is definitely just people don't want to get to know you. Like, instead of someone being like, hey, beautiful, like, I love what your profile said, I'd love to get to know you more. It's more so like, hey, sexy, you trying to link tonight? Hey, sexy, what you doing tonight? I want to take you out.
Oh. Alrighty then.
Or like they just immediately get to like sexual topics and like,
Without even knowing you, first time ever having an encounter with you.
yes, they're like, I want to take you down. I'm like, what? I'm sorry, for the life of me, I will not understand that. I can't.
I just think it's the world and the society that we live in, because people have so much access to everyone, and there are people that's willing to do just that. And so it's like trying to differentiate them from the ones that aren't like that. So I guess if it makes you feel better, at least you know before you waste your time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just, next caller.
Yeah, I definitely think that you're right. It's like finding those red flags quicker than later, because it's like, at least you're not wasting my time. Thank you for telling me your intentions up front, because now I don't have to be heartbroken a year from now. It just
Right.
sucks having to go through all those frogs, and
Right.
it's just like, I don't know, it's just annoying, I think. And then like people, another problem I run into is like people don't know how to be consistent.
Yeah.
And then another thing, people will pretend to be what they think you want based off of how they perceive you. Like if they think you're like this kind of value, they're like, oh, I gotta act like this kind of value. But the problem with pretending is you can only keep it up for so long. So I'll
Right.
think something's going great with somebody until they can't fake it anymore and their real colors come out, and I'm like,
Right.
all right, let's try again.
Yeah, that's the importance too of not telling somebody what you're looking for. You want to hear like who they are and what they're gonna do, rather than what you're telling them that you need. Them to.
Yeah,
So
because people will literally, like I said, they will like, I remember when I was younger, people used to be like, "Oh, so what are you looking for in a guy? Like, what's your ideal partner?"
Yeah.
Please don't tell people what your ideal partner is,
That
because
part.
people
They'll
will.
mimic exactly what you
Yes,
state until they can't any longer,
exactly.
or it's you know they're waiting for you to like let up on that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And then when you
yeah.
don't, they start getting frustrated. Like I need to do more of this. Like what's the point?
Yeah, that's
It's like
another huge issue. Like people will have almost look at me as a challenge or like look at me as some type of like trophy that they
mm-hmm,
want to like conquer. And
mm-hmm,
it's like who I am today, I view myself more, I'm still working on self-worth and value,
yeah,
but I'm at a point where I do value myself and I put myself at a high standard and I know I have a lot to offer. And
right,
it's like if I'm going to be with somebody, you need to have what I have or more.
right.
And it's like I have
And that
boundaries.
doesn't mean for those who listen,
Material.
more doesn't mean material or
No.
financial.
I mean character, morals, integrity, how I treat people, like who I
Right,
am as a person, what my spirit looks like.
right.
Genuine. Like people don't even have genuine intentions anymore. And that's something that I feel like is not that hard to have.
Yeah. I think society has created so many I don't know, stereotypes
Yeah.
of what's high value,
Yeah.
and high value for from what hear is more
Eight
um
figures.
yeah, put
Mm-hmm.
into like money and material things rather than character and
Yeah.
integrity and like those sort of things. Like you can have someone like you said with eight figures but their heart is zero,
Yeah.
and for me that wouldn't work. I
No,
would
that's no
rather have
value if you
your
ask me.
yeah.
I'd rather you be broke.
But there's people out there that say like love don't pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? So they
Do
would
whatever works
prefer
for you, I
that. Like,
guess.
well, at least I'd rather have my heart broken in a mansion or whatever the situation is.
Mm.
That's how some people think. But if you got love and somebody that genuinely loves and care about you or whatever,
Yeah.
like
That's priceless.
yeah.
There is no putting money
Because
on that.
money comes and go, and then what happens when it's gone? Y'all don't have
Exactly.
nothing if you don't got love.
Exactly. And at
So
least the person may not make eight figures, but they love you and you guys can grow to that. I think that's the
mhm,
importance of
you
partnership.
can build
Exactly. You bring out the
together.
best in each other
Yeah,
and build an empire together. You shouldn't just come like that.
right.
If you do, great, but it doesn't matter if you lack character and integrity and the basic human decency standards.
Yeah. Well, I would say for a 21-year-old, I mean, you probably don't want to hear this, but you're still young and you got a long way to go, and you might feel like you missing something because it's kind of like we always want something that we don't have,
Yeah.
but this is the most pivotal time for you to learn thyself and who you are and what you want, what you like, what you don't like. And when you do meet that person, you'll know what you like to do that makes you happy. So when the person comes, like we were talking earlier, you ain't looking for this person to perform in order to make you happy, but they gonna add to your happiness. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And sure, it would be great to have somebody to go out with and hang out or whatever, but that's the importance of two having friends and knowing who to do what with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You bored and want to hang out and do something, that don't necessarily require a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, is it nice to have one and having a companion? Yeah, but not at the
Expense of
of just accepting anything. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like anything worth having is worth working for,
Yeah.
and
Waiting
that don't
for.
always like show up just like voila. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
it
I
just
guess if you think about it, it's
takes
just the
time.
process of anything. If I'm sure if you could get pregnant and the baby's here tomorrow, every woman would rather that.
Hmm.
Which it just doesn't work like that. You got to go through the pregnancy for 9 months, push the baby out, then you got to raise them. So
Yeah, and then it's like you can't like meet, let's just say, guy one and guy two and think like, oh, he gonna
I
be the
found
one.
them.
That's not even experiencing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to kind of learn like what's out there, what's the different type of personality types, the traits, what this one did that you did like versus what you don't like,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
So that you
although
do know what you eventually want and don't
yeah,
want.
so it could feel like I done been through 5 frogs and ain't found the prince. You know what I'm saying? You're still learning in that process or whatever. So
Yeah.
and then even like when we were younger, they raised us to like get out of school,
Get married, have kids,
get
white picket
married,
fence.
yeah, get that house and that white picket fence, get that little dog. Y'all
You
gonna
ain't
have
gonna
y'all
give
little
it this
blessed
though.
day. But I purposely raised you the opposite because
Yeah.
that's not the route to go. You know what I mean? You grow up in all this trauma,
Yeah.
and I know my mindset was like, oh, I'm gonna create, you know, what I want my life to be, which is the opposite of what I saw.
Mm.
And what ends up happening is the thing you running from, you running to,
Mm.
but you don't realize it because you jumping from one chaotic dysfunction to the next.
Yeah.
And so as you grow and evolve, what happens is we change in the duration of, for example, with me, I was married for 17 years
Woo.
and you know, divorced. I divorced. But in the midst of that, like you change as a person, and what
Yeah.
ends up happening, especially when you get married young, that person thinks that you need the same person you needed,
Then
and as
you're a
you
whole
evolve and
nother
change,
person a
you're
decade
not the
later.
same. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And what ends up happening is you find yourself like growing apart.
Yeah.
And it's like in hindsight, you looking back like, why did I do this? You know what I mean? So you start to rethink things in which you could have done them different and things
Yeah.
like that. So I'm saying that to say, getting married young, hey, if you do and it worked, great. I'm not against it. I'm just saying, if it doesn't happen for you, like learn what you can while you're young. So when you finally get into it, at least you've experienced some things
Yeah.
and further in knowing who you are more and what you want more before just jumping in.
Yeah.
Because if you jumping in for security,
Yeah.
that
You're
ain't gonna
done.
last. You know what I'm saying? If you jumping in, like I said, because you trying to run from one situation to
Yeah.
the next, that ain't gonna
Or
work.
chasing a fantasy or an
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. You getting into a marriage because this is what you want and this is what he wants,
Yeah.
and y'all want to build a family and make it, you know, an empire or whatever you want to call it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But
But there's no rush.
there's no rush. I was 23
I can't fathom it.
when I got married, and if I could do it all over again, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. Now,
Well,
thank God for my child. You know, that is the most
bye, mom.
beautifulest thing that came out of it. But the
He said, but
things,
that's about it.
yeah, the things that I endured and experienced, like
Yeah, it was it.
at such a young age, all I can say is it made me wiser,
Yeah.
and it helped developed me to who I am today. But I wouldn't recommend,
Doing that just to say, oh, I got a husband, I got a
hmm
family, I'm married.
yeah, especially like I was raised in church too, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
that was also a thing, like the church, like better to marry than to burn, that sort of
Mm,
thing. And it's like, that's not a route to have a person to marry for. Like I said, if
yeah.
it's not what both of y'all want and y'all equally yoked and, y'all going similar paths and building and encouraging, having respect for each other, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You kind of know who you are in your career and vice versa. And y'all bringing both of those lives together is one thing, but to do it based off, particular things, that's
It's a
not
no
going to
go.
be conducive to either of you.
Yeah. I'm going to say that again.
So,
We got some people in the chat.
Okay, chat. Hey, chat.
All right, Andrea. Oh, it's our cousin. Hey, Andrea. She's watching. Hey.
Hey, boo thing.
Ruby Johnson says, hey.
Hey, boo thing.
Hey. Destiny Esperanza, hello.
Hey, Destiny girl. I've been knowing her since 6th grade.
Whoa.
That's my boo thing.
6th grade? Wow. Y'all go way back.
Yep.
She said, love it. Y'all are so helpful and have a good heart. Y'all are so smart and down to earth. Change and growth changes your mentality. Girl, I even learned a few things from you when we were in school.
Aw, thank you.
She said, sorry, but I had to laugh too. Thank you so much. She said, we're so smart and beautiful.
Aw, thank you,
oh, she
girl.
said 99 stars too.
Aw, you so sweet.
So much. That is so sweet.
That's my boo.
Noah says, hey, Noah.
Hey, Noah, girl.
And Destiny said, yes, sugar. That's so cute.
Thank y'all for commenting. We appreciate y'all.
All the way active today.
Yes.
That's true. She said changing growth changes your mentality.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, through your experience, I feel like you learn a lot. I haven't had many experiences, but from the little mini ones I did, I learned a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why, what was 3 years since I've been single?
Yeah.
I'd say like 3 years to kind of like get to know myself and kind of like make my own self whole. I will admit, I was in the spirit of like looking for other people to make me happy and trying to fill a void. My dad had abandoned me. I was looking for love, that kind of love from men.
Yeah.
And was, searching for myself through them, and they don't even know who they are. So you're searching for yourself in men that have their own voids, and it becomes this toxic like trauma bond thing, and it just becomes this toxic cycle. So and like you said earlier, you don't even know what makes you happy, but you want somebody else to make you happy. And then when they don't meet those expectations, you're upset. Yeah. So
they ain't stimulating you the way you want. It's just like, okay, well, what is this?
Right. And it's like you really can't look for other people to make you happy. That's why it is so important to I won't say we're all 100%, but don't come in thinking like, oh, I want this person to fill my other half up. Right. You need to come as whole as you can, the best version of yourself as you can. Right.
And that's a continual day-to-day
continuous
event.
Evolution. Yeah. Because there's always something we could grow from and learn from and evolve
and sometimes the people that you end up with helps you grow even more. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Which is the importance of alignment.
Yeah. It's like they become a mirror.
Yeah.
It reflects back what
you need to work on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you look at them like, oh, they're the enemy, but it's really showing you, like I said, it's like a mirror and it reflects what it is. Like, say, for an example, the things that, like, when I was about to go through, like, my divorce, and, like, one of the conversations I had was, I'm like, and for me to have sat and accepted the things that I was experiencing, I had to feel very low about myself. Mm-hmm. In order to accept the stuff that I was accepting.
On the level it was, too.
Yeah, and so, it was like, dang, that's not something you want to look in the mirror and, like, tell yourself, like, yeah, I really feel low about me, Yeah. You want to think that you feel the most high about yourself, but it is what it is. Yeah. What you allow and accept into your life
is a reflection of how you feel.
Yeah, and it's a reflection of what you're going through. And so, it's like, so in order to be better, it's like, I got to get out of this because now I'm starting to see that I deserve way more and better. Yeah. And that took me leaving
to see that
in order to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's hard to see it when you're with a toxic person because their goal is literally break your spirit down and belittle you.
Allow you to see yourself. Yeah. Because they going to always turn it back onto them and what they need. Mm-hmm. And so even
and make you feel worthless too.
Yeah. Or gaslight you and tell you that ain't what it is. Right. In addition to
crazy,
therapy had to play like a big role in part and in my decision making also. Because I've always like had the mindset of you don't just leave a situation, but you earn your way out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I exhausted every measure, even in the things that I was experiencing and going through. I still showed grace and mercy and, earning my way out of a situation, but at the mindset of like you or me,
Yeah.
like it finally had to come to the point where it's like, no, I gotta choose myself on this one because
Yeah.
too much time that went by and stuff remaining the same and getting worse. You know what I'm saying? And for a while, this is what I also tell people. I used to think like, oh, stay for the kids,
Yeah.
right?
Please don't
But
do that.
I've learned that kids would rather come from a broken home than to be in one. So
Because being in it is you're further traumatizing them.
yeah, and so I probably would have left years before
Oh,
I
yeah.
originally left, but I thought I was saving you.
Me, yeah.
So I stayed longer. And so I'm sure you remember the night where it all started to transpire. And listen, parents, your children will tell you themselves. That's why I said they'll rather come from a broken home than to be in one. Because everything that you're experiencing and going through, they see it, know it, and
Feel it.
they will tell you. It took my 9-year-old daughter to say to me, Mom, are you ever gonna leave? Imagine,
Yeah. I was fed up.
imagine your 9-year-old coming to tell you that. You know how now you're already feeling like, dang, I gotta be in a low place
Yeah.
to accept this. I got to be real, real low for a 9-year-old to see what I didn't even see.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it was also because I was just going through the motions.
Yeah. It was
I
your
was like,
routine.
I was sick also too, and I was
Yeah.
trying to preserve my health and also just really
Be
kind of like focused
alone
on you.
and
So once you said that, it was like a switch went off in my head, and it was like, oh, you want to leave? And that was like my exit. Like, oh, well, if she gonna be good that I'm leave, let's go.
been peaceful ever since we left. Oh my
So
God.
my point is, don't ever think that you're saving your child by staying in something that is broken. Your kid will even tell you, bye, Felicia.
Sure did.
So that was the best decision that
You could have ever
I ever
made.
made in my entire life for myself.
Yeah. And you really do have to know that choosing yourself first is important. But it's hard when you're conditioned that everybody else matters before you to get outside of that perspective. Because in your head, you feel guilty for choosing yourself. You feel guilty for, not appeasing to somebody else.
And I would also say taking the time to reflect on the things that you experienced and what you learned and owning what you contributed, being accountable so you can make changes moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when two people is in a relationship and things don't work, you got to know the part that you played.
Yeah.
And if you stayed in a part that wasn't conducive to you and you allowed things to take place and happen to you and you just accepted for years and then finally you wake up and like, why are you doing this to me? And it's like, well, what do you mean? I've been doing this to you and it wasn't a problem. You help the person stay conditioned with treating you that way because you've accepted it.
Yeah. So they looking at you like, girl, I've been doing this. Right.
Yeah.
You tripping.
Right. But that's why I said you come from trauma. What you running from, you run to.
Yeah.
And so when chaos and toxicity is what you come from, it's familiar to you.
Yeah.
So you just sit in it because it's the norm. Yeah. It's familiar to you, sort of
dysfunction.
thing.
Yeah. We grew up being content in dysfunction because that's what we know. That's all we were ever shown. So anything outside of that dysfunction feels foreign and weird and like, oh no, that's too good to be true. And you start self-sabotaging and it's terrible. Yeah. And I think that's why the dating game is even so terrible because all of us are traumatized. All of us have these inner children that we haven't really healed or, faced. And we're looking for love. We just want to be loved and accepted and validated and want to feel that void of whoever
all
didn't give it to us.
Missing.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah, you look for it other places, and it doesn't work out because you can't find it in nobody else.
Yeah. Honestly, like I grew up in a two parent household, but I can't say that I witnessed what that
Genuine
should look
healthy
like,
love looks like. Yeah. I think from my perspective, I think the relationship you're in now is probably like what healthy love should look like. Like this is the first time I've ever experienced or seen that.
With me and my boo thing now.
Yeah, with Mac Attack. Like I feel like that's like what I wish we've had that all of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why couldn't you meet him sooner? I probably wouldn't be here, but he's like the perfect definition of what like something healthy reflects.
But I feel like had I not went through the experience with, your dad,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten to this place. That's why I said it's important to reflect back on what part you played and what you contributed or whatever. And even in the once I divorced and left, it's not wishing ill on a person that
Yeah.
did you wrong.
Dirty.
You pray for them and wish that God bless them to have and aspire to be any and everything they ever wanted.
Yeah.
Don't allow like what somebody did to you or how they treated you to make you bitter. You know what I'm saying? And keep going and don't give up. Just because you experience that don't mean that's what it's always going to be. The only reason why it will maintain that way is if you don't self-reflect
and change how you
are
move
within.
accordingly. Yeah.
Which gonna require you to spend some time alone, not with the next person.
And that's what I think people don't realize too. Like how you said, like people are a mirror. How you feel about yourself is kind of like what you start attracting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you feel low about yourself, you probably are gonna attract somebody that's gonna treat you that way. But if you're functioning on like a high value, high vibration, you know your worth, you know what you have to offer, you know that you're that girl, and anybody who's not meeting that standard like you're gonna attract something that's lower than that if that's not the vibration you're on.
Yeah.
So that's why it is important to take those step backs to be like, hey, what do I need to work on? Even if it hurts. Like, I think people really underestimate the power of sitting with yourself and really reflecting on what you did contribute, because a lot of the time we just like to point the finger and act like,
the other person.
Yeah, like, well, they treated me like this and they called me this. And it's like, yeah, they did that, but you also are trying to make, like, you're looking at it to make you happy. Mm-hmm. That's not good either. That's not no, like, good or lesser evil. Of course you were the victim in like the story, but you also have to understand like, okay, but if you start working on yourself and your value and your self-worth and healing
for yourself.
Exactly. You have to heal those inner child wounds because if you don't, nobody else will. So you can't expect somebody to treat you a way if you don't even treat yourself that way. What is Chloe Bailey's song? Treat me like I treat me. People will treat you how you treat yourself. If you don't love yourself, and that's also vice versa, you can't also expect somebody to love you when they don't love themselves.
That part.
People will treat you how they feel about themselves. That's why you always told me growing up, don't ever take anything personal as far as like how people treat you, because it's always coming from a place of within.
Yep. What they going through.
Exactly.
They're projecting on you.
Right. People like to bleed on people that didn't cut them because it makes them feel better. It feeds the ego and it feeds the...
Yeah, temporarily.
Yeah. So
until the next situation happen, and then you find yourself in this like vicious cycle of keep happen.
Yeah, that's why you gotta heal.
Yeah.
Even I like how you said too, like even after a bad situation, don't just hop into the next one because you haven't even taken any time to see what even took place. You just hoping that hopping onto the next one is gonna make you forget about the pain that this is causing. But guess what? You're gonna end up with the same kind of person because people. From what I've learned is like every person I've met has like are tests.
Mm-hmm.
So if I haven't passed that last test, God's gonna send me one exactly like them,
Yep.
with a little bit of a little sprinkle or different kind of appetizer with it to make it look a
Yep.
little different.
Yep.
But He wants to see, like, oh, have you learned from that one, or is this still what you're accepting?
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay, you didn't take that. Okay, maybe let me try to send you a different little duck. But even they're gonna have something different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like being aware
Yep.
to notice those things, because otherwise you're gonna be in this cycle and it's gonna repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna notice it's gonna, what do you call it? Different faces, same behavior,
Yep.
or different spirit, or same spirit, different body.
Yep.
People literally come in different faces but act the same.
And also, it can also happen another way where he's also trying to see the parts of you that you worked on.
Yeah.
So you can also meet a good person,
Mm-hmm.
and something that they're doing could be triggering to you, but they not necessarily doing what the other person did. It just
Feels the same.
feels the same, but it's not the same.
You gotta know the
And
heart.
So instead of attacking, you got to look within. Like, wait a minute, did they do something, or is that something that I'm triggered? That's something more that I got to work on.
Yeah. Triggers are no joke. Those
Yeah.
things run real deep.
So it's being able to differentiate
The
like,
two.
The two.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's dating relationships is. That's why I said it. If you really consider all the things that we're talking about now, you know how long it takes to work on thine-self. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And say if you met somebody tomorrow and it's just like, well, wait a minute, you know, if you start tackling some of these things, it's just like, oh wait, I do need to like take this time to make sure I got this checked and that checked and this checked. Now, if you just happen to meet somebody, great. But
Right.
if you think that, you know, you're just sitting on idle time and you're just waiting and everything is all checked off, no. If you start checking off some things, your mind will be less idle because you will be doing so much work. And as you working,
You don't
the
attract
less
the
you
person.
even thinking about it, that's when it typically happens, when you least expect it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But when you so focused on I want, it's running from you.
Heck yeah.
You know, you gotta run towards, but you gotta be in the
Vibration.
alignment, yeah, the vibration and the frequency of
Yeah,
that.
you gotta let go
Yeah,
and let God.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a struggle.
it takes time.
It does. And you really do have to just be patient, because Mac texted me. He said, "You two sound like me. Great job." Thank you, Mac. He's like,
Thank you, boo.
what I've been teaching them is learning.
Period.
It really
He
has. We
taught me
listen.
so much.
Oh my God, yes. I'm
Like,
not gonna cap to you. Like, I've never met such an amazing man in my life.
I second that motion.
Like, so genuine, so sweet, such a kind heart.
Yes,
Ugh, I'm gonna cry my eyelashes off talking
Aw.
about him. He's just so
he
amazing.
is amazing though. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah, he's like the first man that just like speaks life and encouragement, and I don't know, just like shows you you're worthy and you're valuable.
Oh,
And
you cry.
no, I'm not crying.
Yes, you
We're
are.
not crying this time.
Mac, you got her over here crying.
These are happy tears, though.
Shout out to Mac.
Ooh, I can't try these lashes on. I'm gonna look a mess. Yeah, no, but he's just taught me so much, like really made me believe in myself and my worth and my value, kind of like gave me everything that my actual dad didn't. Like, my dad tore my self-esteem down, and my worth and my value made me feel worthless, like I wasn't good enough. And
Yeah.
Mac pretty much has, and it's still being built,
Yeah.
but he's pretty much built me up and like made me feel like a strong woman and beautiful young lady who has a lot to offer.
And he's always consistent.
Yeah, he has not switched. Like, I remember when I was in the house with my dad, he made me feel like I was walking on eggshells and I had to be perfect. And like, if I didn't meet up to his expectations, I was a terrible daughter, a terrible person.
Yeah.
Always constantly trying to chase this perfect image for him.
Yeah.
And it's like, that gets draining, but Mac just loves you to be free and,
Accept you the way you are, and
Yeah.
where you feeling low at, he always uplifts you.
Yeah.
And build you and encourage you, and he'll sit and have long
like 3
talks
hour.
with
He's like you. Like, he'll have like 3 hour conversations with me, and I can cry my eyes out. I can hug him. Like, I couldn't even feel comfortable hugging my own dad. You see the face? I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
weird. But with him, he's just like literally the dad I never had. So I'm also grateful to God that He does, provide where you're lacking. Like, even though it may not have come from my blood father, He always will provide you with what you need when you need it,
Right.
and will provide something like it. And I'm like, I don't care about blood, because blood, what they say, blood's thicker than water. My blood has treated me the worst than strangers have.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean anything. It's about, the integrity and the morals and the character of a person, and their intentions.
Right.
And, that's all you can really ask of someone. Even how he treats you, I'm like, this is what, healthy, relationship is supposed to look like. Someone that, like, even uplifts you and speaks so much life into you. And I'm used to seeing people, want reactions out of you and do things.
You.
Yeah, to provoke you, make you mad, want to see you at your worst. And He wants nothing but to see you in, your best self, your best vibration. And even when you're feeling low, He's like, girl, you look good. Where you going? Now, like, where you going? Take that off.
Right.
Who you think you about to go see?
Right.
Like, it's just like, ugh. Like, I can't. He's just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and he wants to see you happy, and He has never ever tried to get a reaction out of you ever.
Never.
Like, He can't. I won't say hate, because He doesn't like that word, but strongly dislikes seeing you upset or seeing you mad. Like, even if He accidentally hurts your feeling, He feels terrible, and He barely even does that. But
right.
He's just the most
genuine, kind, loving,
like a little teddy bear.
Very unconditional.
Yes.
Yeah. First guy that has ever like approached the conversation speaking on like the value of me and like seeing the true value.
Yeah, and treating you as such.
And it wasn't just like in words, but it was in his actions and his deeds,
Yeah, He doesn't talk. He literally shows. Like, His action speaks volume. And that's been from day one.
Yeah. The first guy that like I had conversation with where we didn't talk about like our trauma bonds, like what he experienced versus what I experienced in either relationship.
Yeah.
We just talked about like who we were as people and what we wanted. And we just kind of like built our relationship off of that, not things we've experienced or been through.
Yeah. You kind of built from a fresh, clean slate. Which is great, because you're not bringing all that baggage into something that hasn't even shot off yet.
Yeah. And like he used to tell me the same thing too. Like if you tell people what it is you're looking for, they're going to mimic it. And so you really want to see what the person is wanting or willing to do.
Yeah.
So
he texted me.
Oh,
look, we're gonna look at these as your comments, Mac.
Tell him, do he want to call in?
Well, look, I was just about to say we can do that now since it's 7:39. But he said, "Love you, you matter. Love, peace, and happiness. Blood doesn't make you family. Anyone can be your family. I love to see people win. Let people know that you treat people how you want to be treated, no matter how they treat you. You treat them with kindness, and even if they treat you otherwise, you move on with kindness, respectfully."
That part.
With that said, it's time to call in. I love you too, Mac. Yeah, please feel free to start calling in now, guys. Yeah, Mac, if you got... Oop, I done bought my microphone. You see that number right there? Please feel free to call in. We would love to talk, because this conversation is getting good, and we want to start having people tap in.
He calling?
He texted me right now.
Tell him.
He said, "I love seeing people blossom into themselves and the better version of themselves." Amen.
He ain't lying.
Hopefully,
give him the number. I already sent it to him, but how y'all feeling out there? Y'all got any comments? Anything that y'all experience in relationships that you want to share, or maybe something we've talked about that you can relate to? Because we feel y'all pain.
Yeah,
and
no,
happiness, because pain, is temporal. Happiness is always going to be at the end of the tunnel as long as you don't give up.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. We've had 5 viewers on Facebook for majority of the time.
Shout out to y'all viewers. Thank y'all for tuning in and keep watching us. We appreciate y'all. And if y'all aren't following Lauren Nicole on YouTube, go ahead and go to YouTube and search Lauren Nicole and make sure you subscribe to her page and put on your post notification so you can get notified every time she posts something. Check out her music on all streaming platforms, Lauren Nicole, and she's on social media as Lauren Nicole Official. You can follow all her handles.
One thing she gonna do is promote. She loves promoting. Sorry, y'all. Well, if he's not calling in right now, I think he's working on it. If you want to call in yourself, please call in because we want to talk to you guys. So if you're viewing this currently,
now do you need these things now?
Well, I'm trying to wait to see if he's gonna call.
What did he say? He said, "I left y'all the message."
Right. He probably nervous. You know how he is.
Well, we gonna have him up here one day so
Yeah.
he can he'll catch a vibe with us.
Yeah, I think he nervous. Well, he's nervous, so we'll have him come up here one of these days.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we can just continue the conversation. The number's still up there though, so I'm watching my phone to see if you guys are gonna call in. So feel free to call in while we're having this conversation if you have an opinion about Nazir. Hey Nazir.
Hey.
If you have an opinion about the dating game and how the struggle has been for you, even not just that, but like finding yourself.
Yeah.
I think,
that's what's most important,
yes.
especially like at this age. And then the part that you was just saying about like fathers and stuff like that.
Whew.
I was having a conversation with someone earlier that was talking about their daughter and, being scared, being a father and knowing that their young daughter is growing up and what's out there. And, my advice is that's the importance of the father's presence.
Yeah.
With them knowing that their father presence is there and who their father has shown and treated them as far as like they value and speaking into their life and, having those conversations with different scenarios, fathers, when you used to grow up and you wanted to get with a girl, the things that like you did, maybe not so good, letting them know like the game that young men be on. So when they hear it, oh, dad already told me about this, so bye, sort of thing. So it's like teaching them the game, but also treating them in a way where they know they value. Like you can't just come with some, oh, you're so beautiful. Thanks.
Thank you. My dad
father told me that
every
my
day.
whole life. You know what I'm saying?
What else do you have to offer? He said it's not letting him call.
Oh, it's not.
I'll just see if I can call him through my number. Let's see if this works.
Forwarded to an automatic voice message
Hold on,
system.
Matt.
815-231-670.
Hello?
Not available. At the tone,
Nothing?
please record your message. When
Let
you
me try again.
Oh, no.
She said, oh, no.
I can hear you now.
Your call has been forwarded to an
Let's see. Sorry, y'all. We trialing and erroring right now because we trying to get these calls going in.
Your call has been...
Yeah, no, it isn't working. I don't know.
It's going straight to voicemail.
Yeah. Oh, well. We'll figure it
We'll
out.
have to figure it out. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, no, that's deep. That really is.
Yeah,
That's
a father's presence is so important in a young girl's life and can literally change the trajectory of her life when it's dealing with men, good or bad.
Yeah.
Good in a way where, when you had that positive outlook with your daughter, that she's going to know how to treat a man and respect a man and love a man and be kind to a man and not have to belittle them or, make them feel less than because she loves and respects her father and don't have, daddy issues and things like that. And also, if vice versa, if the father isn't in their life, that becomes this hole and this void and they feel empty and they're looking for a father figure to fill that up. So they find men that makes them feel this
father-like love, but it's not really love.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So you're constantly trying to prove yourself in order to keep them around.
Mm-hmm.
So it can go either way. And
Like, see, I'm good enough. I'm valuable. My father didn't want me, but I'll make sure you stay around. And that's why you'll see a lot of times too, even like younger women going for old men.
Yep.
Like that's what where daddy issues came from, where people are like, I got daddy issues, I old man, But it's really a lot deeper than this funny joke. There's like you're just like older man. No, you're looking for a real father.
Yeah.
And it's like it's sad that you have to go look for it in that because yours wasn't really there for you.
Right.
And it does affect how you see yourself, because you're chasing literally what he didn't give you, but you're running into what he gave you, which was nothing.
That part.
It's crazy.
And when I'm saying presence in your daughter's life, it doesn't mean that we live in the same household. It means being present as in knowing who she is, she knowing who you are, you knowing, weakest parts of her life and how she feel about herself, as well as building whatever that is up.
Yeah.
And encouraging and having, like I said, conversations. Because like getting to know someone, one would think like, how do I get to know my kid? I live with my kid. But you can live with your kid and don't know your kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in order to get to know anyone, even if it's a friend, you got to spend time with them. You got to talk to them. You have to have conversations. Yeah. You got to be interested in what they got going on, who they talking to, what's going on in their mind, how they feeling, what they thinking on a regular.
Yeah, it can't be like, I'm going to show up today and try, and then, for the rest of your life now, or I'll pick you up off the shelf when I feel like it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the issue me and my dad had. As I got older, I would start to express verbally like how I was feeling. Yeah. And it's like, at first it's like, I ain't do that, blah, 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 blah. But he could, in his head, he wants to be perfect. So it's like, they'll try to be, what you're asking for a quick amount of time, and then it goes right back because that's not who you are.
Right.
And then, or I remember after you guys got divorced, I feel like he started trying to like spend more time with me, when I was at his house, and it's like, well, now I don't even like you no more.
Yeah, because much time had went by.
So much time has gone by. You've treated me terribly. I watched you treat my mom terribly. I'm 16 now. All you did was you kind of break me down, my self-esteem. So now all I really have is bad memories of you, and now you're trying to ask me what my favorite color is at 16. Yeah. Now you're trying to like go out to dinner with me and have conversation with me. And it's awkward. I don't even know how to have a conversation with you because you don't even know me. Yeah. It's too late. Yeah. Like it just, I am who I am now. Those moments were when I was 4. Right. Thanks for, the many, and even that effort was just trying to make himself feel better for the moment being, because it never remained. But it's like, you have to really you have to try. Right. But, with him, it's like he was more focused on building relationships with his job. Yeah. And, the kids he works there, he'd rather them look at him as a hero and want to get to know them. I remember he'd come home talking like, oh, my God, I helped this kid today. He looks at me, as his own father. And I would go, to their football games and stuff with him, and they loved him. And I'm like, dang, I wish I got to experience what y'all was experiencing. Yeah. You don't come to my stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And I laugh now, but that used to break my heart. Yeah, yeah. And now I will admit, he came to pretty much all of my dance stuff, like all my recitals, all of that. It was just those emotional moments I needed him. Yeah. Like he bragged. Emotionally
and mentally.
Yeah.
It was like what you needed.
What I really needed. Yeah. And a lot of the times, he was the reason I was emotionally and mentally messed up. Yeah. So, and nobody's perfect. I give him so much. I give, honestly, him grace now. And I used to be very bitter and angry at him. But knowing what I know about psychology now, I understand it. I don't respect it, but I understand it. Yeah. Because I don't believe in just because you've been through something gives you the right to, treat people the way you treat them. Yeah. But it does. It just sucks because it's a lot of healing that I have to do now at 21. A lot of undoing the way I think and feel about myself. There's a voice from him on how I feel about myself. Right. And so when I'm trying to date somebody else, I'm constantly being, triggered by everything that I was told by him, and it's not even true. Right, right. Or at least, the way he's even made me feel. Right. Even in his absence. Right. So I don't know where I was going with that. But
I mean, I think it just ties back into where I was saying that's why it's important to
find
Just
yourself.
because you're in the same house with a person doesn't mean that you're present
Yeah.
in your child's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. You're
Like
right.
it really does require like spending like that one-on-one individual time. Obviously, you got to go to work and do all the things, but just like making that, one-on-one quality time in order for them to like feel like your presence and your voice. And like you said, when you ain't around, that voice is going to always whisper when brother man over here trying to tell you some sweet nothings like, nah, Pop's already done put me up on this, boy.
Exactly.
Bye. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Versus that presence is not there. And whatever sweet nothings a young man is telling them, they going to fall for it because they just want to feel that love.
Yeah. It's
And
like, well, if he don't tell me, at least somebody telling me.
yeah,
Oh,
and it
finally.
feels good. Oh, is this what I was
Yep.
missing? Is this
Puts you on a high.
Yeah, and you constantly chase that, and you'll find yourself in relationship after relationship after relationship,
Chasing the high.
being broke and hurt, and and it just is not worth it.
Yeah.
So
It's really sad.
yeah, so
It really is.
and I'll be the first to say it, mothers, we cannot teach a young girl a father's love.
No.
We can't.
Because you definitely had to overcompensate and be both most of the time. And even with all them scenarios you taught me, still to this day it's just something that you can't fix.
Yeah,
You
like
can give me all the advice you want, but there's still a hole in me that still I'm working on it still, I admit, and it's gotten a lot better.
shout out to Mac because I swear that man
Yeah, he's
came
helped
in
a lot.
and, whew, I'm like saved by the bell. Yeah, like I've been able to have conversations that I've never been able to have with anyone with him. And once he's seen the space that I was like coming from, what I thought I was doing, I wasn't doing, and I had to hear it from a man to understand, and
Yeah.
then he would come in and meet you right where it is that you need it.
Yeah.
But I know, women are quote unquote looked at as like God and they can do everything, but you can't teach a
No. That's why man and woman was made.
yeah.
You know?
It's like women are loving, nurturing, and
A little soft pillow to
Yeah.
land on.
men are going to deal with facts, not feelings.
Logic and
you know?
give you that strength to be like, you got this, girl, have
Yeah.
some tough skin.
That hard exterior.
Yeah, the strength,
stand up.
confidence.
Yeah. And don't let nobody put you down and
Yeah.
speaking that
life
within
into you.
Yeah. And women
strong
do that.
foundation.
The mothers do that, but they do it in a more nurturing and an emotional way. But you still need
A
that
balance.
Yeah.
It can't, too much of anything is not healthy for us.
Yeah.
So-
like, our kids do need like their father, but like Lauren said, if that's not your experience, then it's okay. Gotta put somebody else, in
Every
in that
time.
place. So
Yeah.
shout out to the men that came and stepped up to help, because I'm grateful.
Me too, because Lord knows it's hard. And like you said, even we go back to the whole dating thing, if you know how long it took for you even to get here,
Sure.
it's like, why do you think finding someone that's just like you is gonna be super easy?
It is not.
You have to have patience. You have to allow yourself to go through things to even be aligned with that, because
You got to be willing to say no.
yeah,
Just because you feel like, oh, I just want somebody.
Yeah.
You can get somebody right,
Right.
now if that's what you want, but
Facts.
that don't mean they gonna
I
be
need
good
somebody up
for
right
you.
now.
Yeah, so
But it's like, if you have to lower your value or your standards or settle, then it's not worth it just to say I've got somebody.
and anything you anxious for is not gonna be good for you.
No. Y'all seen Inside Out too? Anxiety. You seen how she ended up in the end.
How she do, Lauren?
Hi, I'm excited. It's like, girl, if you don't call me a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think that's why movies like that are so amazing, because it does break down how our minds work. And, it explained it from a kid's perspective. But even as adults, anxiety is me. Like, that orange character is literally how my brain naturally operates.
Yeah.
I have to, purposely like push her out of my head every single morning.
Yeah.
Like I wake up with anxiety. I go to sleep with anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety is something I deal with every single day. I've just learned how to cope with it and learned how to put it under subjection.
Right.
But if you don't be careful, it'll take over. And even in that movie, it talked about the little girl Riley, how after every experience she had, it built the foundation of how she's seen herself. And you remember when Joy, the Joy character was in the running, she felt good about herself. She was confident. She had healthy relationships. She had, good friends and, was excited to go to school.
Yeah.
Anxiety took over. And now she's like, I'm ugly. I'm not enough. I have to fit in, or, I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
Like the foundation that is built in your head is so important at a young age. Yeah. Because it really does shape like how you see yourself for the rest of your life. And after that foundation is built, it's really hard to mold it.
Right.
Seeing how hard it was for Joy to come back and rebuild it back up.
Yeah.
It took all of those emotions together to break the tree that anxiety had built.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. It took a war.
Yeah.
For them to break that. So
battle of the mind.
Literally. So it's like when you think about the human mind that way, you give yourself more grace and you give other people more grace, and you're less anxious to do things or less impulsive to do things, because like you said, anything that you're impulsive to do just ends up in shambles.
Right.
If we said everything we thought every day, we'd probably have everybody hating us.
Okay.
And I don't mean literally us, but just us as a human society. If
right.
we just spoke and had no filter,
yeah.
I mean, listen, the world would be in war.
Okay.
You have to be intentional about what you say. You have to think about what you say before you say it.
Right.
And just like what you have to do that, you have to think about your actions, how you're behaving, and the environments you put yourself in, the people you decide to partner with, because that is your life.
Yep.
So that's all I have to say.
It matters. I'll close on this. It matters who you decide to have children with.
I'm terrified to have. I'm not gonna cap to you. We can go into that in the next episode. But I'm terrified for that very reason, to even have a child with somebody, because it's like people nowadays are so good at getting their Oscars and giving such a good act.
Yeah, that part.
I'm like, oh my God, what if I have the kid? And this is just me, my anxiety brain talking.
Yeah.
Because you can't, at the end of the day, you can't let fear run you. But people fake until they get their challenge, and then they switch up. And it's like, I do not want my kid to go through that. I want her to have, a dad that is gonna, give her what I didn't have. So.
Well, shout out to the Lord that will work all things together for your good.
Yeah.
But we digress, y'all, because we can be talking all day.
You know it. These episodes will probably be 2-3 hours if we,
that part.
We kept talking.
Our production is like, all right, ma'am, next caller.
Wind it up now. He said, But we love you guys. We appreciate you. We're gonna figure out.
Thank you for tuning in. We're gonna figure out this phone number stuff.
Yes, I think my Google number is just tripping, because some of the people said they couldn't call in last week too, because they wouldn't let them. So
it's weird, because when we tested, it works.
It works. They just don't want us to be great. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't want us to be great.
Though.
But we're gonna figure it out.
Y'all,
we do want to start doing interviews and stuff. So if you would like to be on the show, please message me. I still have to message a few people actually that already reached out on my comments. We hope this inspired you and helped you feel like you're not alone, because Lord knows the struggle is real.
Okay, that part.
And Lord knows life be life and all the time. But it's not about what happens to us. It's about how we react and how we move forward. So as long as you keep on moving forward and keeping it pushing, embracing everything that you're going through, you will be good. Before we go as well, I want you guys to go check out my merch collection. Lauren Nicole merch at Shopify.com, I believe. I have a collection with Adidas right now. Shout out Adidas.
Okay, that part.
I have a few different designs, actually, so please feel free to go purchase you some. Come help support my brand and the music, and even to keep this platforms like this going.
Yes.
You can also... Yes. You can also go to my IDon'tFitAndIStandOut.com website, and you can earn money with me. So it's a program called Earn with Artists, where if you purchase my song, you'll get an affiliate link. And if you send that affiliate link to somebody else, you'll get 30% of the money that I made. Why would you want to do that? Okay. You getting money, I'm getting money, we getting money together.
Let's grow together.
Yes. And at the end of the day, being an artist, being influencers, and having a podcast, and writing songs, recording songs, doing all the things that, get you guys these products, it costs. And, you know, putting music on Apple and Spotify is great, but I don't get any of the benefits from that. I don't get that direct money. So if you want to go purchase my song, I Don't Fit and I Stand Out for $2.99, please feel free. If you want to go purchase Cope as well for $2.99, there's also an option where you can donate to our mental health brand. And I also believe there is a super fan option where you'll get exclusive benefits just for my brand, period, if you want to donate to that. What else is there? Anything else you can think of?
You said it all.
Yeah, just help some sisters out. But yeah, we love you. Go follow my mom on Instagram at TheRealPumpkin35. Don't make that face. Go follow me on Instagram at Lauren Nicole Official. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please turn on your post notifications. We are going live every Friday at 7 p.m. to talk about mental health. Go follow our Instagram page at Mental Health Talk with 3 Ks at the end. And yeah, we'll see you guys next Friday. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend.
All right. We love you guys. Have an amazing week.
Yes.
Bye.